let's talk about mystery.
Ah,
This is a topic that, in these times when uncertainty seems all around us and when we want to have way more control than we seem to have, how do we have the capacity to tolerate mystery?
it's a far-reaching practice of patience and constancy in a certain way, because mystery is the capacity to open to the unknown and to not demand, and I say demand, an answer to everything. I went to my teacher once with a question I was really having trouble with, and he said, "That is such a good question. I'd be ashamed to answer it." And it's like, oh, okay, to stay with it. It's like Rilke's, living the questions. You have to go deeper and deeper. I heard Mary Oliver being interviewed once, and she said, "Respect the mystery. Always want the mystery. Don't want answers." She's saying a little bit like Aiken Roshi was saying, it's not about belief, it's about discovery, open to the spaciousness of things so that you can learn from life instead of trying to make it your way, which is kind of like a self-centered dream that we get lost in.
And I think that folks that we have this urge for a sense of belonging with others
Yes.
that can be cultivated if there's sort of like a social contract in a group of people
Hmm.
to just be okay with the mystery.
Sure. Yeah. And that's something that is challenging to a lot of people. A Tibetan teacher, Trungpa Rinpoche, who's quite well known, he said the spiritual path is walking between hope and despair straight into the face of uncertainty, which in a body feels like vulnerability, which you mentioned. And most of us want, instead of walking between them, we want to turn despair into hope. We don't want to hang out in despair, of course, but the kind of hope that most people cling to isn't actually resilient. It's a kind of a wish making. But if we can actually tolerate the uncertainty and the vulnerability, and there are many people who talk about this, Brene Brown talks about it, it's the place of most aliveness, really, because it's the truth of the matter. It's the way it is. So how are we going to navigate what is with joy and with generosity with others? And this thing you're talking about of connection, that's why most spiritual communities, for example, are communities, not yogis up in a mountain in a cave.
So give me a real life example of this so that because I think this is really important to be able to tolerate the mystery. So like something goes wrong with our 14-year-old or we've got a coworker at work that's just making us I don't know. Give me can you give me a example of
Yeah. It's what we started with already about noticing. You have to notice. And then it's like, oh, this has gotten my attention. So, sort of the universal solvent for problem solving is curiosity. Start becoming curious. Because what we do so quickly is we rush to a solution or a blame or a collapse, some reactivity instead of staying with it and saying, well, what is happening? What's going on here? Being really, really curious and going deeper and deeper and deeper into it so you can find out. Maybe you'll find the little place where you can begin to pull a thread or touch someone or do something that will make a difference. But you can't do that if you quickly try to extinguish the discomfort that you're feeling. You have to learn to tolerate that. And that requires a larger container of self. And that's part of what the growing up and that's what maturity makes possible.